Hey guys, I'm Adam.
I'm Ryan.
And this is Two Neighbors. Ryan, what do we got going on today?
All right, so this is called What the Gambling Industry Doesn't Want You to Know.
Oh,
so,
interesting.
I don't know, I think there's probably quite a few things the gambling industry doesn't want you to know or would prefer that you not know, but this will be an interesting watch. As some of you guys are aware, I am in the gaming industry, so we'll see what they don't want you to know.
So what do you think they don't want you to know?
I know in the sports betting thing, they don't want you to know the right side to be on, what we call the sharp side.
Okay.
They prefer you to just, have a few beers and start betting. And I think the gambling industry as a whole, does a lot to make you feel comfortable and, have a good time, but they really don't want you to be informed.
Yeah.
An informed bettor is dangerous
They
to
want
them.
stupid bettors, careless bettors.
Yeah, they want, the recreational types. And Vegas goes through huge efforts and spends a lot of money to make sure that all their plays do have an advantage. And anytime you're able to find an advantage, they do everything in their power to make your life very difficult. You know that from like blackjack card counters. Although it's not illegal to count cards, the second you're caught doing it, they'll just ban you from the premise or, tell you you're too good for us, sir. You can play any other game here, not blackjack. And sports betting is the exact same thing. If you've been sports betting and you're good at it, you've been what's called limited by the books, which means you log in one day, you go to place your bet, and they say, sorry, your maximum bet is only $2, and what are you gonna do? So anyways, I'm not sure what this is about, but...
And this is good to watch because us here in Canada, now sports books are legal in Canada. So that's big news and big changes.
Yep, and all over the US too, like it's really kind of exploding. It was there, it was always there. I mean, it's like the legalization of marijuana in Canada. It didn't just people just didn't run out and start doing it.
Yeah.
People have been betting on sports forever, just, more in the shadows. Now it's mainstream, it's, becoming more acceptable. Taxable. Well, not in Canada, but yeah, so.
Right.
Yeah, if you want to be a professional gambler, as long as you have other sources of income, Canada's a good place to do it, so.
Sweet.
Yeah.
The more you know. But before we begin, guys, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe to the channel. Two Neighbors takes 2 seconds of your time. Really would appreciate it. Don't forget to turn on that little bell for notifications because we post content a lot and we don't want you to miss it. Ryan, let's do it.
Yeah. And if you are interested in more information about sports betting, you can follow me on YouTube or TikTok, Bender Wins Sports Betting. Learn all about it. I would hope so. And that way,
you brought me a lot of this, a lot of cheddar.
You can at least do it with a little bit more information, and winning is always more fun than losing, so.
I'll say one thing, Ryan, one thing only. Bankroll management.
Bankroll management.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
Gambling is used extensively all over the world to launder money. If I was to estimate based on the amount of accounts I've seen of that nature, it would have to be millions and millions of dollars that is laundered every year. It's just a scam. The fact that nobody can win, we only want losing customers. That's it. It was just fucked. And they know what advertising works, what algorithm works, they know how to maximize their profit, which is to get people to lose more and more. It is just rotten to the core. I was a customer account supervisor at one of the biggest gambling companies in the world.
UK,
21st century technology, the punter doesn't really know what's going on. And behind the scenes, there's all of this maths going on that analyzes your betting and ensures the company wins. It will always win.
I think he's Aussie.
Customers would be
British.
categorized based on their profitability. So if a customer lost millions of dollars, they would be labeled a VIP. And only the best staff would talk to them. But if you were a problem customer, that meant that you were winning money. So you'd be labelled with a big badge that said that you're a problem, and that needs to be dealt with. The risk rating is done by an algorithm. It's just how much they've lost against whatever other metrics the company's decided. The risk rating essentially turns off winners and stops them from betting and cranks up the dial for anybody that's losing so they can lose more and more and more money. It's actually a design feature to ensure that those that lose are allowed to lose more. So if a customer says something that could indicate they've got a problem with gambling, you would just have to go through a series of questions and just tick, 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 and that was it. Suicide calls were to be dealt with by only a senior manager, but I had a manager tell me that they just had to make a decision based on the threat and stick to it, and that it didn't matter once they hung up the phone because they didn't know whether or not they followed through with their threat or not, so that it didn't really matter. So that's probably still the worst thing I've ever heard anybody say, because you don't know whether or not they killed themselves or not. It didn't matter. It's an industry-known thing. Gambling is used extensively all over the world to launder money. The company would treat customers different depending on what country they were from. If there was a whole heap of customers in England sign up with similar details, that would be a suspected syndicate of people trying to get one up on the company. I raised things of a similar nature in countries in South America, and all of those accounts were waved through, and that happened multiple times. When you get 20 individuals join up within a space of 20 minutes, or with matching email addresses and account numbers, it's quite obvious that's a systemic tactic to launder money. If I was to estimate, based on the amount of accounts I've seen of that nature, it would have to be millions and millions of dollars that are laundered every year. And that's just that company alone. When you realise that the company doesn't care about people, it makes you feel appalled and sort of disgusted within yourself, because you know that you're helping a company harm people, and virtually deliberately harm people, because the culture is that it's all about revenue. It ruins people's lives, it takes their money, it ruins their families, the staff either indoctrinated or miserable, and then on top of it all, it's changed what sport is. If you're about to get into punting, make no mistake about it. You can't win. None of these companies will allow you to win in the long run. So just don't bother.
Wow.
Interesting video. So, I agree. The actual facts that they estimate up to 99 to 99.5% of the public sports bettors lose long term. Billy Walters, greatest of all time. There's some fantastic articles and books, and having lived that process of really playing the cat and mouse game with the books, he's right. The books will do everything in their power to stop you if you have an advantage. Fortunately, being on the other side of the table as a professional sports bettor, there are tons of options to be able to get money down and be able to bet. But it's really it's a terrible industry, and I was hoping that when the legislation was written, at least in Canada, and the states tried to do it in New Jersey, for example, they can't refuse action from customers, but they found loopholes around it. I was hoping that that's what they would do, would basically say that, if you are willing to accept bettors, then you have to accept everybody, win or lose.
Right.
And they came up short on that, and it's a problem that years ago used to be that if you consistently beat the sports books for a prolonged period of time, then you would get limited, right? Or basically just tell you outright, we don't want your action here anymore. And if you pushed it, this is back in the days of offshore, they would threaten to just keep your deposits and keep your money. Every book that I've ever dealt with has always paid out when they've been limited or my account's been closed. But now it's gone to the point where any sniff of sharp action, they'll limit you. So it's a challenging environment, but there's so many more options to bet that it's not, it's actually a better environment now. But again, like anything, he talks about the pitfalls that, gambling is serious business and you have to approach it as such. And if you're gonna do it, educate yourself. There's, the advantage that you have is there's all this information out there on the internet. So go out there and
betterwins.com.
There you go. Go check out on TikTok and on YouTube. I have a lot of educational videos that will help you. And he's talking about punters as just over the pond slang for betters, if anyone didn't catch
He's a
that.
punter.
A punter. Yeah. We just call
Awesome
them
stuff.
betters.
Well, the more you know, and this is definitely an interesting video that should make you wary of online gambling, but don't be scared of it. It still can be fun. Just be smart about it.
Be smart.
All right, awesome stuff. If you guys have a video you want us to watch, hashtag my request down below in the comment section with the URL link, and we will do our best to get to that video. And as always, check out my new channel, The Canadian Show, down below in the description.
Cool.
Yeah. Anything else, Ryan?
Like, share, and subscribe. And when you hit that subscribe button, make sure you turn on the bell for notifications. We post new content all the time. We don't want you to miss it.
That's it for our show. Thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next time.
Later, guys.